So I spent about 3 or 4 years in the evangelical paradigm or world until I finally left in 2010 and started my deprogramming journey. And by the way, it wasn't just religion I had to deprogram from. It was any and all beliefs that I had picked up along the way in my family, in spirituality, in recovery. Ultimately, everything was on the chopping block because we're talking about deprogramming, not reprogramming. Deprogramming brings you back to yourself and resolves emotional repression, while reprogramming reinforces emotional repression and pretense. So, throughout my 30s and early 40s, I hadn't paid much attention to what was happening in the evangelical world because I needed to get space from it for a while. It's sort of like needing to get your head clear or get your bearings after you've left a codependent relationship. And B, I was so focused on deprogramming and unlearning what had been drilled into me in religion, spirituality, recovery, and my family, that I didn't have the time or the desire or the stomach to revisit any of it. Until a couple months ago, when the whole tragedy with Charlie Kirk happened. I didn't know who he was, so I had to look him up and sort of reacquaint myself with the modern evangelical movement because I'd been out of the loop for so long. And so here are my thoughts as an ex-evangelical. I thought there was a lot of desperate energy to the whole thing when I was part of it in the mid to late 2000s. But the level of desperation now, it's just exponential. It feels like it's an all-time high. The undercurrent of neediness is just so strong, right? Needing people to hear, needing people to listen, needing people to understand, needing people to agree, needing people to argue and debate. There's such desperation in it. And as someone who's deprogrammed from every paradigm that I sort of suckled onto in order to get my unmet childhood needs met, that tells me one thing, that emotional repression is at play and running the show in the modern evangelical movement. Because here's how unconscious emotional repression manifests on the surface of things, whether you're in the realm of religion or not. One, you're clinging to and defending your beliefs in order to reinforce emotional repression. Two, you're in victim consciousness. You feel like people are against you or you have enemies. Three, you need agreement or confirmation from a community or group, right? You need the groupthink. You need a consensus reality. Four, you're looking to bring people into the fold, right? To convert. It's strength in numbers. And five, you're deferring to an authority, right? And this is where the neediness comes in. Because everything that we do when we're in emotional repression and its resultant beliefs or belief systems is to try to get our needs for love and safety met from mom and dad originally. But now that we're older, in the religious paradigm, it's God, or in the spiritual paradigm, it's a guru, or in the recovery paradigm, it's a sponsor. See, those desperate emotional needs that make religion or spirituality or recovery even necessary are created, sustained, and driven by buried and repressed emotions that are in the body. And if we don't resolve those unmet needs will keep us clinging to beliefs, belief systems, identities, and worldviews that are causing harm to ourselves and to other people. I heard a woman yesterday on TikTok, of all places, preaching about how non-believers are calling the Bible hate speech now, which doesn't surprise me because the woke mob or whatever is just as much of an emotionally repression-driven cult or ideology as anything else. But B, it's not that the Bible is hate speech, it's that many of the people who cling to it and promulgate it have pockets of unconscious hatred, anger, grief, and sadness buried and repressed in their bodies. Otherwise, they wouldn't be clinging to it and promulgating it. It's like what Elon and the conservatives say about empathy, right? That it's the fundamental weakness of Western civilization. It's not the empathy, it's the buried and repressed emotions that drive the weaponization of empathy, right? The pretense of empathy. I can tell when people who are talking about empathy and kindness and compassion have buried rage and anger in their body, and it just doesn't align. Just like I can tell when people who fervently preach God, love, and the Bible have buried grief, sadness, and anger themselves. See? Ultimately, when it comes to ending suffering, it doesn't matter what you say or you think or you believe. It matters how emotionally honest you are. That's what authenticity is, emotional honesty, right? An anger repressor getting angry, that's authentic. A hurt repressor feeling and expressing hurt, that's real, that's authentic. But hiding out in ideals, concepts, beliefs, or belief systems, that's not real. That's just hiding. And I know because I did it in many different worldviews and paradigms for 30 years. Anyhow, if you want to stop hiding and get real, then tap the link in the caption of the bio.